ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening, guys? It is Thursday, April 9th, 2020. Welcome this morning, man. I'm glad to be here with you guys. See who's on here already. I can't see this morning for some reason in the browser here. What's happening, Chris Filippelli, Andrew, Jacob? Good morning, guys. Thanks for jumping on here. We're going to talk about a really, really important topic this morning, and it is around core values. It's around basically the fabric of what makes up who you are is the way that I kind of describe core values. And the topic of today's show is, what do your core values really mean to you? So there's a lot to unpack in this one. I've got some views on core values. I've got a lot that I talk about in business when I'm meeting with customers about, that type of alignment, that alignment of having the same or similar core values. We're going to unpack that this morning. And we're going to talk about everything values related. What's happening, Dayton? Good morning, man. So the first question that I would ask you guys, and I'm going to post some things in here that'll be some good references for you guys to kind of get your mind wrapped around this if you haven't done a lot of studying on core values or a lot of thoughts on core values. Just ask yourself the question, what are your personal core values? What's happening, Jeff, Eli, Carla, Greg? Good morning, man. Larry, good morning. Thanks for jumping on here, guys. What are your personal core values? What do you stand for? At the end of the day, what is it that you want to be known for? On your last day, you take your last breath. What do you want people to say about you? That is your personal core values. The second question that I would ask you, and this is a test that sometimes we get to choose to take, and sometimes this test is put upon us, but what are you willing to sacrifice to stand for those things that are your core values? And here's what I will tell you. How often do you see people in the world today that say that they stand for something, but they actually only stand for it when it's convenient or when it's not going to cost them something, right? When it's going to cost somebody something, they take a completely different thought process and approach, don't they? You ever meet one of those people? There's a lot of people out there that say that they stand for something. When the cards are on the table and they actually have to do something that makes it inconvenient for them or costs them some money or puts them in a situation that's uncomfortable, they will fold on those core values. True core values, not just the ones that people sometimes, market themselves with, are the things that you would go to any length to protect. They're the things that you can't help yourself but to defend. That is probably the best way that I could put it to you guys. The things that just your instincts are triggered to defend what you believe is right. They automatically activate a drive in you to defend what you believe in. And if you're doing a great job of living by your values, you will have a bunch of people around you that same thing is activated in. So here's a few notes about living by your core values that I think will be helpful to you guys when you're evaluating, how you want to live, what you want to live by, what you really truly stand for. And this, I don't know that there are a lot more things that you could start with, whether it's in your life or in your business, than starting with what do you want to stand for, so that you can identify every aspect of this, from what do you want to be as a company, what do you want to stand for, who do you want around you, what qualities do you want to see in those people that you share your days with, you share your business with, you share your life with. So here's the tips, guys. Make sure that the people that you are associating with, both personally and in business, have core values that either are in complete alignment or they complement your core values. If you do not match values with someone, you are going to have a really hard time doing business with them. And it will probably not end well because you don't believe the same things. You don't have the same values. An example of this would be, you have a value in quality, in taking care of people, and a high level of customer service. But a customer only values the lowest price. Those values don't align, do they? So it's going to be really hard for you to transact business with a person like that your values don't align. And what we see a lot of times is that sometimes people get in these business situations with customers that they probably know aren't the right fit for them, but they do it for some reason. And those situations always become tumultuous and difficult, don't they? Think about that. If you ever think about the most difficult situations that you've ever been through in your life, it's because you're in a situation where two people don't believe the same thing. You're not in alignment. And when you're not in alignment, all kinds of things go sideways. When you find yourself in a situation with someone that doesn't align with your core values or your vision or your mission for your life, remove yourself immediately from that situation and that person, because letting it go longer will not solve that problem. The only thing that will solve that problem is removing yourself from that situation that you're in, that you know is not in alignment with how you want to live, with what you really believe in your soul. You will find that when you are making decisions that are in line with your core values, that life will typically be pretty happy for you, right? You ever been in one of those moments, man, where you had the right team, you had the right people around you, you had a lot of momentum in business, your family, everything was good? It's because you were living so closely to your core values, to those things that you truly believe, probably things that you were taught from when you were a little boy or a little girl to believe right from wrong, right? And when you do that, your life is going to be full of fulfillment. You'll feel really confident about all the things that you're doing. And when you are not doing that, when you are making decisions that are outside of your core values, you will find yourself in far more difficult situations. And, I speak from experience here, guys. It is really important to always be looking for these things. When something doesn't feel right, a lot of people say, follow your gut. Well, your gut is typically an indicator from your core values, right? When you feel like something's not right, you're usually on point, right? And the reverse is true. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday for the very first time, a very lengthy conversation. And I sent that person a message last night and said, man, it was one of the greatest conversations I've had that I can remember recently in a long, long time. And it's because I truly felt like our values just aligned, right? Like everything that we believe is very similar. We believe in the way that you should treat people. We believe in what is right from wrong. We believe just everybody and the people that we mutually know. We have respect for a certain group, and the other group we probably would stay away from. And those things are in alignment. So when you have aligned values, you probably will have a successful friendship. You probably will have a successful business relationship. But when you get off the phone with someone and you get that not so good feeling like, man, I don't know what that conversation was all about, or that person was trying to pump me for information, or whatever it is. Everybody has probably had one of those conversations where you feel like, man, what was that? It's because your core values are not in alignment. You do not believe the same things. That's it. And so if you live your life that way, if you live your life very clear on what your core values are, I'm telling you, you're going to live a more balanced life. You're going to live a more fulfilled life. You're going to look around you and really enjoy all the people that are part of your life, part of your teams at work, part of your groups at church, your circle of friends. But it all starts with you establishing what those values are. So I'll challenge you guys today, and I'm going to do this today, to revisit, maybe your top 5 values. Your top 5 values should be what defines your life. And so you want to make sure that you're constantly revisiting those so that everything gets clearer in how you should be living. And if you constantly keep going back to those values and you make all the decisions in your life, or as many as you possibly can, based on those values, you will live a much more fulfilled and much more peaceful and happy life. And the second thing is, be willing to go the distance to fight for what you believe in and to do whatever it takes to stand up for what is right, no matter how uncomfortable it might be, and no matter what the price you have to pay. Character is defined by those moments where you're willing to do what most people aren't willing to do. And that starts with your values, but it is executed by you being willing to sacrifice and stand up for what you believe. And when you do that, you will earn people's respect. And by standing up for what you believe, you're going to attract more people that share the same values as you. And you're probably going to scare away a lot of people that don't. And as you do that, your life will become more and more and more. I use this word all the time. It's what I'm in pursuit of. Blissful. I am in pursuit of bliss. I'm not in pursuit of anything else but just pure bliss, happiness, fulfillment. All of those things that make life's moments the sweetest. And it all starts with having the right people, doesn't it? When you have the right people around you, you have people that believe what you believe. I can promise you, most of the people that watch this show every single morning probably believe the same things, or they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't believe in the messages. They wouldn't believe in what we talk about. They wouldn't connect with the content. And so I'll end on this. I'm grateful to have all of you guys in my life. I'm grateful to have people that, support this message, share it with other people in their life so that they can live more happy, fulfilled, blissful lives too. That's what this is about. But it all starts and ends with core values, right? But that's what it's about. At the end of the day, it's about helping people. It's about giving back. It's about caring for others. There's a lot of things, and I'll post a list of the values that you can look at and say which ones of these define me. But look and choose your top 5, and then go back through the situations in your life where you made decisions that you probably knew, there was something not right about the person you were talking with, and you did it anyway. And where does it end up, right? It never ends up in too good of a place because you're not following your gut. You're not, making the decisions that align with your values. And at the end of the day, those decisions generally they turn out to be difficult, right? You go through a difficult process as a result of that. And that's what we call education. So, but at the end of the day, guys, stand by your values and be willing to do whatever it takes to defend them and to stand up for what's right. I appreciate you guys being on this morning. Thank you for taking the time out of your morning, especially to my guys on the West Coast. I always got to give those guys a shout out, man. 4:30 a.m., those guys are dialed in. So I appreciate you guys. Greg, Jeff, I think that's all that's on here from the West Coast. But I appreciate all you guys being on here. Thanks for listening this morning. I hope it was helpful. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m., right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.